If your mortgage payments feel like a mountain, you're not alone. Across Canada, countless families are grappling with the same overwhelming financial burden. The dream of homeownership is slipping further out of reach for many, and the stress is palpable. But why is this happening? What factors have converged to create such a challenging environment for homebuyers and renters alike? Today, we're going to break it all down and explore the intricate web of issues contributing to Canada's housing crisis. Canada's housing crisis is hitting hard. Hey everyone! Whether you're in bustling Toronto, scenic Vancouver, or anywhere in between, the story is the same. Housing prices are soaring, and the market is more competitive than ever. But what exactly is driving these skyrocketing prices? And more importantly, what can be done to alleviate the pressure on Canadian families? Today, we're diving into Canada's housing crisis. We'll look at the historical context, compare it with other markets, and discuss potential solutions. So, buckle up and get ready for a deep dive into the real estate roller coaster that is Canada's housing market. Picture this: $1 million gets you way less housing in Toronto or Vancouver than in other cities. Why? It's a question that has baffled many. In cities like Toronto and Vancouver, $1 million might get you a modest home, whereas in other parts of the country or even in other countries, that same amount could buy you a sprawling estate. The disparity is staggering and raises questions about the underlying factors driving these prices. Let's unravel this. First, Vancouver versus Seattle. Vancouver's average house price, $1.2 million. Seattle, $850K, and Seattleites earn more. This comparison highlights a significant issue. The cost of living in Vancouver is disproportionately high compared to the average income. But why is this the case? What makes Vancouver's real estate market so much more expensive than Seattle's? First, Vancouver versus Seattle. Vancouver's average house price, $1.2 million. Seattle, $850K, and Seattleites earn more? This stark contrast is a clear indicator of the unique challenges faced by the Canadian housing market. While both cities are major urban centers with thriving economies, the differences in housing affordability are striking. It's 15 times the annual income to buy in Vancouver, but only 7 times in Seattle. Ouch! This means that the average person in Vancouver has to spend a significantly larger portion of their income on housing compared to someone in Seattle. This disparity puts immense financial strain on Vancouver residents and makes homeownership a distant dream for many. Now, Canada's backstory. To understand the current crisis, we need to look at the historical context. During the 2008 financial crisis, U.S. home prices plummeted 20%, but Canada's only dipped 10%. This resilience in the face of a global economic downturn was initially seen as a positive sign. However, it also set the stage for the rapid price increases that followed. Then, boom, they surged 150%. The post-crisis recovery saw Canadian housing prices skyrocket, driven by a combination of low interest rates, increased demand, and limited supply. This rapid appreciation in home values has had lasting effects on the market. Housing prices skyrocketed, but incomes, not so much. While the cost of homes has increased dramatically, wages have not kept pace. This growing gap between housing costs and income has made it increasingly difficult for Canadians to afford homes. Canada's economy, stagnant. Despite the booming housing market, the broader economy has not seen the same level of growth. GDP barely moved while the population grew fast thanks to high immigration. The influx of new residents has added to the demand for housing, further driving up prices. However, the economic growth needed to support this population increase has lagged behind. Unemployment hit 6.7% in late 2024, with youth unemployment at 14%. Rough. These high unemployment rates, particularly among young people, have compounded the challenges in the housing market. With fewer job opportunities and stagnant wages, many young Canadians are finding it nearly impossible to enter the housing market. Why so pricey? Population growth and investors. The combination of a growing population and increased investment in real estate has created a perfect storm for high housing prices. By 2020, investors own 22% of Canadian homes. This significant level of investment has driven up prices and made it more difficult for average Canadians to compete in the market. Demand soared, but supply, not enough. The limited supply of new housing has exacerbated the problem, leading to intense competition for available homes and further driving up prices. Rental prices jumped 60% in 15 years. As homeownership becomes increasingly unattainable, more Canadians are turning to the rental market, driving up rental prices as well. Debt's a killer. The high cost of housing has led many Canadians to take on significant debt in order to afford their homes. Canadians have the second highest household debt globally. This high level of debt is a major concern as it leaves many households vulnerable to economic shocks and rising interest rates. Rising interest rates mean higher mortgage payments. As interest rates increase, the cost of borrowing goes up, making it even more difficult for Canadians to afford their mortgage payments. Many homeowners are just covering interest, not reducing debt. Yikes! This means that despite making regular payments, many Canadians are not making any progress in paying down their principal, leaving them in a precarious financial position. So what's next? The future of Canada's housing market is uncertain, but there are steps that can be taken to address the current crisis. While a crash isn't imminent, the market's shaky. Solutions? There are no easy answers, but a combination of policy changes, increased housing supply, and economic growth could help stabilize the market. Canada needs to tackle economic stagnation and boost housing supply. By addressing these underlying issues, it may be possible to create a more balanced and sustainable housing market. Stay tuned. We'll continue to monitor the situation and provide updates as new developments arise. Alright folks, that's the lowdown on Canada's housing market. We hope this deep dive has given you a better understanding of the complex factors at play and the challenges facing Canadian homebuyers and renters. If you found this helpful, hit like, subscribe, and share with your friends. See you next time. Your support helps us continue to bring you in-depth analysis and insights on important issues like this one. Thanks for watching.